Alright everyone, we start off today with something that I've noticed. It sort of clicked the other day, and it's kind of an amusing topic, which is, you remember during the Trump years how you had a 24/7 wall of propaganda against Trump, and it was coming from, CNN, MSNBC, the Intel swamp, big tech, at times, certainly fact checkers so-called. And I was thinking to myself, when we look at Let's Go Brandon, or the I did that Biden stickers, etc., all of the sort of memetic attacks on Joe Biden, basically it's the same thing, except that the actual cause of it is inverted. So before it was corporate media, corporate big tech, etc., the lame establishment. Now it's more of a grassroots thing. It's more purely memetic. It's actually organic. You have, crowds of people chanting Let's Go Brandon at sports events, at rallies and shit. You have people taking it upon themselves to print out reams of stickers and inform others, yes, indeed, Joe Biden is responsible for the various crises that we have. It'd be funny if someone had a blimp with an I did that message on it, like behind the blimp or something, or a plane, and flew it near the border, because of course Biden did that as well. His administration has done absolutely nothing for the border. This constant reminder of the frailty, the incompetence, and in some cases I would say the malevolence, the stupidity of the Joe Biden administration is basically the same as what happened to Trump, except that it's the good guys that are putting out the message instead of a bunch of multi-billionaires and crooked corporations, which the leftoids hated until 2016, and then all of a sudden, it's okay if you have slaves in China, or traffic people or something, as long as you don't like Orange Man. You can do anything else that you want. You can be as rapacious towards the earth, as miserably corrupt. You can offshore, you can abuse your workers, keep wages low. But Orange Man bad, so as long as you worship at the altar of not liking Orange Man, everything's fine. Now, first and foremost, keep in mind, if you're watching this video on YouTube, there will be a pinned comment down below with links to 4 other video hosting sites that I use. Keep in mind I make 2 or 3 exclusives every day on those platforms. The cat is getting spicy again. I've got leather on, so you can go ahead and do chewy thing if you want. Look at her, she's got spicy face. Anyway, I find this very funny. This is sort of a restoration of Memetics as it was in the mid-2010s, as opposed to the constant technically meme campaign, although not grassroots, certainly not organic sort of things that you saw during the Trump administration. So remember the Steele dossier, Pissgate, things of that nature, the Russia hoax. These things were peddled constantly on a day-to-day basis. There was hardly a day that went by in the lamestream legacy media that some meme about Trump, which was invariably at most half true and usually not even that, was being rammed down the public's throat. They were constantly reminded by their taskmasters, by the same people abusing them right now economically, Orange Man bad, mean tweets, Trump is despicable, Trump loves racism, Trump didn't make as much money years ago as he claimed somehow, Maddow would claim, before trotting out his tax returns, getting curb stomped, and then quietly retiring that particular attempted attack. Now, though, it's stickers and chants in sports stadiums and stuff like that. This is more like the Kek Pepe stuff that happened in that prior election. This is more of the real memetics that I encourage people, when the Asterisk administration began, to get involved with that. 24/7 nonstop satire and ridicule of the Asterisk administration. Biden's administration has basically made the case for me by being so inept. You've seen 2 of the top 10 losses of presidential approval single month in presidential history have already happened to Joe Biden, and he's not even an entire year in his Asterisk administration position. The economy is damned at the moment. You've got hyperinflation, you have stagflation arguably. You have shortages, you have a border crisis, you have the withdrawal from Afghanistan being botched, attacks on the energy industry, and then of course soaring gas prices, Biden having to suck up to OPEC. And these things make it really, really easy for people to coalesce around memetic messages and pound the administration with what effectively is propaganda. Now, propaganda is usually used in the negative sense. When we think of it, we think of MK Ultra style stuff. It can also be done in a grassroots fashion. It's the same thing. It's an attempt to change people's minds through, in some cases, witty slogans, etc. I think we saw the birth of if the glove don't fit, you must acquit 2.0 just yesterday in the Rittenhouse trial with Hocus Pocus out of focus. It sticks in people's minds. It conveys a message, and it must be terse, memorable, and interesting. It can be entertaining, hilarious. It can be thought-provoking. It can be antagonistic, and it can basically serve the same purpose. I would say that Let's Go Brandon fulfills this. You've taken a message that wouldn't be able to be spread organically in any electronic fashion because of censorship, and you've boiled it down into a more innocuous terminology, which is why the legacy media is freaking out and saying, no, that's a white supremacist dog whistle. It's a right-wing extremist term. I find it really, really funny if you look at left-wing pundits, especially among the Twitter checkmark class, the blue checkmark crowd. The same people that were saying, fuck Donald Trump, now think that if you say that about Biden, it's disrespectful to the nation. It's unpatriotic. It's horrible, and we don't need this kind of divisiveness in U.S. politics. After years of dividing people on purpose, of course. Again, though, Biden makes it easy. He's no uniter, except uniting people in an increased misery index. Uniting the working middle and upper middle class, maybe, in derision near universal at this point of him, with approval now cratering down towards the 30s. This is the way to do it. When I made that suggestion, some people didn't quite, I think, understand what I meant. This denigrates support for the asterisk administration. When every time you go to the store and you see the prices are up 20-30% overnight, and you see an I did that sticker next to the tomatoes. When you go to fill up your car and it's 30-40% more expensive than it was a year ago, and you see Biden's face next to the price on the pump. When you go to, and I don't, but a lot of you do, you go to a sports game and you have a Let's Go Brandon chorus. When you go on the internet and all of these things are constantly viral and there are a million memes being spawned about them. This 24/7 avalanche of material is roughly the same as what they did to Trump. Only, this time, the same ones that were doing it are terrified, and people have learned, I think, at this point to sort of, and I spoke about language creoles under linguistic anthropology fucking almost half a decade ago, they've learned how to go around the censorship. Let's Go Brandon is probably the best modern example of that kind of creole propaganda, as you may term it, because the original message wouldn't go very far. It's vulgar. There are some people who might agree with the message, but I ain't got a potty mouth. I was trained under the Lord Jesus to hold my tongue and not say such things. Well, they're not going to be spreading your meme. But if it's Let's Go Brandon, well, it basically means the same thing, but it's not vulgar. Nobody's saying fuck. Nobody's even mentioning Biden. The fact that the Biden administration would be so nervous about it is a testament to its capabilities. Language creoles, constant satire, memetic warfare. And this is what you need to do. That and civics. You can't just do the online thing, but a lot of it's become real world anyway. Those stickers next to the gas pumps, a physical person, they didn't tweet about it. They went out and they put it on the gas pump. My hope is, of course, they had permission from the business owner. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. When you see memes of Joe Biden sniffing kids or something like that on the lamppost, somebody's actually physically doing that. The hope is, of course, that after they get done putting up a couple of stickers, they also go knock on some doors and tell people the good news about the death of globalism and how we can crush the neoliberals together. Judging from Biden's lackluster approval and falling and low hope of restoring, I think, most of that approval before midterms, we're in for some interesting memetic times ahead. So yes, keep it up. It's working. Did I not say that it would? But a lot of people thought that what I meant was just make silly memes online. It's become real now, and so that's how it's working. That's about all. Peace out.